Alright, last video I didn't have the audio on, so I'm redoing it, but I'm not gonna leave the original video up because timestamp, because this is an interesting question. I made this question, and it's very interesting. Last video I just talked about how I finished stroke stereo, how it's 0.00000 over here. I'm not really talking about that because this excites me even more. This ODE excites me way more than what I did earlier. So this ODE is interesting because it entails that I have some device that is in a field, and this field is shooting this upwards and fighting gravity. It does make sense. That's a shock. That's a shock, right? Most of the shit I do doesn't make sense sometimes, but it does line up with, if you think about it, as the bigger mass would create a bigger gravitational force, but if the electrical magnetic force was great enough, it would go upwards a little bit, and actually at a certain point it would break everything and it would slowly move this way and it would just pew. There's a there if you shrink the mass again and again, it goes insane with the velocity, like 4,000 meters per second, 3,000 meters per second, and 0.035 seconds, like 0 to 0.0. It's really fast. And why I say 0.03, as you can see, it stays in that place over here. So what I'm thinking is happening is that the gravitation takes forward over here, and I need to figure out why that does that. No, I don't. I have a very good idea on why that is, because of the Taylor expansion, I think. Um, in my opinion. And then the gravitation is not really. I think it's a more mathematical thing than anything else. This could also work for friction if you did it horizontally. Instead of gravity taking over, it would be friction going this way. Because we would be polarizing this way. This way is the electric field we're doing, and then we're doing the magnetic field this direction, I believe. No, it would be, yeah, orthogonal, because orthogonal will get the greatest electric potential and the greatest magnitude potential. Well, I'm thinking about the field more because honestly, I'm thinking electric field would be easier because electric field was first, but I might be wrong about that. That is might be the opposite is true. Then you just reverse this, and you will try to get the magnet faster. It wouldn't be anything different than just changing it. At least in my opinion, it wouldn't be much different. Um, this is a question I made. I was very excited. Most of all these questions are made by me anyway. So really, this question was very exciting to me because after thinking about this question, I was thinking, how if I add magnets, how would it affect it, and then how what would happen if I did a basic sine and cosine wave, and then how would this affect that? I'm not sure if the cosine wave or sine wave would be the best option. I'm not sure what would happen if I chose something more extreme, like something like I don't know, bezel function. Uh, Probably a lot better, but I'm not sure how you would create a bezel function with electricity and electric field and a magnetic field. Not really sure. So best case scenario. Oh, by the way, this has a little boost of 1 uh, uh, meters per second. I found out that it works with 0, 0. It would just be a lot of times I got this function going downwards, and I was distraught by it because it just goes downwards. I need to go up a little bit. That's the intuitive thought process I had, and I realized that if I bump it up, it might be easier to for me to think about it. No, it wasn't. It was just because I didn't get the mass small enough. The mass really needs to be very, very small. I started with to think 0.11 and 10 kilograms, and I didn't even know. I didn't know the seconds of validation. It would be. I thought it would be 0.07 at first, to 0.0. Actually, I think it's 5 seconds first. I thought, but it really did turn into 0.3. And why did I say that? Is because I am confident about that point because it looks like all of the points converge at that point. So it looks like for all the masses over there, it would actually be true. Um, Otherwise, it would be a very coincidental place that all the lines converge into that one place. So I'm assuming that is correct, and anywhere is negative is clearly wrong in my opinion, because I didn't really assign a negative anywhere or define it, so it would be wrong if this goes to negative. For now, I didn't define it. So it's all convention after all. I need to define shit. To make it work. It's kind of like if, and also if this explodes, I found like it goes 3,000 meters per second. Um, I found theoretically it should go that fast if it's like it's 3,000 meters per second or 4,000 meters per second in that range. It's very fast. It just explodes very fast, and it's like a bullet casing. Um, I think you could totally make it into like a projectile motion that moves very fast and it goes 3,000 meters per second in my calculations, in my theoretical calculations. When this explodes when the mass is very small. But the problem is it's already 1 gram. If you go any smaller than that, it's kind of bullshit at that point. There's no weapons you can make with that. Most likely, theoretical shit could work with that, but is kind of useless in my opinion at that point, unless you're dealing with anatomical things, micro shenanigans, which would be interesting. Um, I'm not sure, but that's my theory. It's a theoretical thing. This is a theoretical question I made